Ron Miller's got the hammer down. Ron Miller's got the hammer down, racing hard to every town. Watch Ron Miller's hammer down. He's a co-host with the racing show. The co-host with the racing show. He's a co-host of the racing show. Knows where the track every foe, the coast of the show.
This is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, August 29th. 28th. Yeah. I put the 28th on here for some reason. I thought today was the 28th or 29th. We don't know what day it is. It is the 29th. Okay. Show number.
Yeah, it's 29th.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a week, man. It's the Hammer Down Racing Report, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Show number 345. Scott Hammer, Ron Miller coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch from the Dominator Race Products Studio. Tonight on the show, we will be speaking with Fremont Speedway point leader, 410 sprint point leader. I guess there's three of them there, aren't there? Kalib Henry will be joining us. We'll be talking about, I guess, a lot of stuff going on with Millstream in the show that happened on Sunday. Chase Johnson was in a bad crash over on the West Coast there. We'll talk about that. NASCAR's schedule's out. And if you haven't heard the bad news, unfortunately, that we lost, I guess, a good friend of ours.
A good friend.
Yeah. Chris Mize had passed away Monday night. We got word. Actually, I learned about it Tuesday morning, but
very early Tuesday morning, yeah.
So before we do anything else, we're going to have a little tribute for him at the end of the show, but before we get things started, here's something that he liked to do at the beginning of every time he was on and every show he does.
Every show that he ever did.
So let's get this out of the way first.
First off, all my shows I go on, I want to thank the veterans out there. Without you guys, we couldn't do shows like this. Military serving overseas and homeland. All our first responders, police, fire, EMS, doctors, nurses, tow truck drivers. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good, Chris.
Yeah.
Doing good. I guess as good as we can be.
Almost made me tear up a little bit, Scott. Jeez.
Wait till you get to the tribute thing. And we've had him on. I had to go through, I think, about like 10, 11 shows we've had him on. Yeah. A lot of good stories that he has, and I kind of compiled all those. Well, again,
hangover races like forever. He always was on just before.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we will, that will play at the end of this. So stick around at the end of the show. We'll have our little Chris Mize tribute. Thanks to John, who had stopped by. He dropped off one of these guys. I guess they're raising money for the family there at Sandusky Speedway.
Yeah.
$5, I believe. He paid for it. I paid him. I'm assuming it was $5. He didn't say anything different when I gave him my $10 for the 2 stickers. So anyway, if you want to win a different sticker, this one, let me do this again here. The Hammer Down Racing Report window sticker, courtesy of DCR Graphics. Just type in hashtag DCR in the comments of our Facebook Live or the YouTube Live, and we'll be drawing for that winner at the just before our Chris Mize tribute at the end of the show. So stick around for that. Also have to mention the Hammer Down Clashes presented by Victory Fuel. Speaking of Victory Fuel,
Yeah.
it's here. Oh, wait, here. Let's do this again. There we go. We have the purple potion. So thanks to Tanya for dropping that off this afternoon, actually. I heard a lot of good things about it, and it tastes kind of like grape Kool-Aid, and I like grape Kool-Aid. But it's not as bad for me as grape Kool-Aid. It's actually not really bad for you at all. It's got electrolytes, and we'll talk about it. It's kid-friendly.
Very low sugar.
But it's really good, yeah. Oh, yeah, that is good. Very good. Anyway, Hammer Down Clash is presented by Victory Fuel, featuring the Showdown Series rules that Corey McCoy had put in place the past couple of years. There's going to be 4 races, there's 4 races scheduled. The first one will be Saturday at Oakshade Raceway on September 28th. That'll be at least $750 to win at this point. Millstream Speedway on Sunday, October 6th. Fremont Speedway on Friday, October 11th, and as of now, still scheduled the Nightmare Clash in Dusky. Everything in kind of Sandusky is kind of up in the air at the moment with all the stuff going on with the heart of Sandusky Speedway, as Kevin Jaycox had referred to him as. So we will see about that, but we're kind of let things settle down first before we figure that out.
Discuss it. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is tentatively scheduled for October 19th. Again, featuring the trucks versus stocks, and asphalt stock cars invited for all those races. 3 of the dirt tracks and the 1 asphalt track. So, if you want to be a sponsor of that, put some money into any of those races, all the races, whatever. You can check out go to hammerdownracingreport.com. All the information's on there. All the races, the purse payouts are going to be on there as well. But we would like sponsors to try and pump up those purses, because each track's kind of putting their own purse up. And Victory Fuel has already stepped up and become a presenting sponsor, so we appreciate that. All money going directly into the purses. We're just the middlemen putting it together, I guess.
Yep, not making a dime.
Not at all, unless we win, because I'm planning on racing in those races.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
But we're not officiating, so. So you still have time to get in on that. About a month away from the first race.
Yeah, and we'll be begging every single week.
Speaking of begging, the Toledo City paper, Best of Toledo.
Yeah.
The nominations are still going on. I think that goes through the next 3 or 4 weeks, too.
Really?
So if you want to nominate the Hammer Down Racing Report as best podcast in Toledo, go ahead, and we'd appreciate that. That'd be pretty cool.
Go to their website, ToledoCityPaper.com, and just scroll down.
Yeah, watch last week's show. I think at the end of the show, if we kind of went through the process of nominating. It's not as super easy as you'd like, but it's not too complicated.
Right.
If you've used a computer before, you should be good.
Yeah.
If Ron can figure it out, we're good.
Don't start, Scott.
I shouldn't, because you came over and figured out my brake issue within like 30 seconds or less. So,
yeah.
Thank you for that. Anyways, I do have to give a shout out to Ashlyn Davis, who from West Unity, celebrating a birthday. Derek Zuver came up on Saturday, said she was a big fan of the Ocho, so
really,
that was cool. Also, happy birthday to Dean Henry as well.
Oh,
so lots of stuff to get to here.
Finally hit 30, did he?
Yes, I think so. I think it was 29, and he's just doing anniversaries. But yeah. Again, hashtag DCR to win that Hammer Down Racing Report window sticker. We'll do at the end of the show. Got to mention Dittman Motorsports, the official Hoosier racing tire dealer for Northwest Ohio. I did talk to Craig on, I think it was Sunday he called.
And he's feeling
he's
more
home.
better.
Yeah, he's still not 100%, but he was feeling better. That was Sunday, so he's hopefully he's better.
I talked with him yesterday.
Okay, so he's good. Is he
I'm not saying he's good, but he's
he's back to his old
self.
self.
He felt like he'd been run over by a truck, but
all right. Well, I know he was planning on going to Eldora this weekend, and I don't know if we were going to see him at Oakshade with his parts truck or not. So we shall see. But anyways, give him a call if you need any kind of race car service, bodies, parts, whatever. 419-283-8580. Mention the Hammer Down Racing Report when you contact Magic Moment Entertainment, and you'll get 100% off your reception DJ service. Magic Moments, Ron Burt works with contracts, carries liability insurance. He never charges for mileage or dance floor lighting. He's been in business for over 30 years. Takes pride in working closely with couples to make your special day perfect. He covers the states of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky. Wedding receptions are his specialty, but they also do corporate events and mitzvahs. Call 419-594-2261 or find them on Facebook, Magic Moment Entertainment, or Ohio Sports Blitz. And you can follow Ohio Sports Blitz. He's got the Friday night Facebook Live high school scoreboard shows he does with high school football starting back up. Contact Freeze Frame Photos for all your racing photo needs, from action shots to victory lane. Custom print magnets, canned koozies, tumblers, cool framed photos. He does with cool effects. They can do pretty much anything you want with any of the photos. Makes great gifts.
Yeah.
And Christmas is coming up. Get your Christmas shopping done early. Get a hold of Freeze Frame Photos. Charlie in particular at 419-407-6994. Freeze Frame Photos, special moments, frozen in time. Also got to mention Dominator Race Products, DCR Graphics. DCR Graphics is also a sponsor of the Hammer Down Clashes.
Right.
Trucks versus stocks, so thanks to him for that. Oakshade Raceway, Ron Miller Race Cars, and, of course, Victory Fuel. Before we get to Mr. Kalib Henry, who's been doing an outstanding job, 3 wins this year at Fremont Speedway, we have to go through our racing roundup and all the action from this past weekend. How about we do that? Where is it? Right there it is.
Racing Roundup.
At Raceway Park on Friday night, it was AFCS 410s. That was won by Cale Thomas. Mike Bors picking up the win in the late model feature, and Paul Weaver getting the win in the AFCS 305s. The late models, that was a Attica Oakshade Late Model Series event, the penultimate event. Mm-hmm. And then the finale Saturday night at Oakshade Raceway, Dan Wallace leading and winning that feature event from flag to flag. But Casey Noonan surpassed Devin Shields to win the championship unofficially, of course, for the Oakshade Attica Late Model Series for 2024. So congratulations to him. I believe he finished third in the race, if I remember correctly. Ryan Davis picked up another DCR Graphics Sportsman win. Jeff Folks Jr. picked up the win in the Dominator Super Stocks once again. James Stamper, a Hammer Down Army driver, picking up the win in the Compacts. The Compact A main, that is. Jamie Grachowski winning the Dominator Superstock B main, and Eli Colodi in the Compact B main. Flat Rock Speedway. Connor Zaboyzin winning the Outlaw Super Late Model feature and crowned the season champion up there at Flat Rock. Regan Ford picking up the win in the Street Stock feature. Kenyon Knight getting the Street Stock season championship. Bill Early picking up the Figure 8 feature win. Greg Stude crowned the champion of the Figure 8 class. Jeff Metapedigan picked up the win in the Factory Stock 500 class. And Kyle Metapedigan was crowned champion of that series.
I forget which one of them, but one of those guys ran an Oldsmobile engine all year. Just to be different.
How different is that from a regular Chevy engine?
A lot.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. It's not just valve covers.
You said it was a Buick?
Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile, okay. They don't make those anymore.
No.
They're like Pontiac.
Could be a classic.
Yeah. Probably hard to get more parts for, at least original parts. Sandusky Speedway in action this past weekend. Bryant McCoy picking up the win in the Renegades. Danny Shirey picking up the win in the Outlaw Super Series. Wayne Anelski the third, another win in the Beginner Stocks. Carl Smith picking up the win in the Pure Stocks. And Brandon Bailey, the All-American Iron feature winner. And you know what? Spoiler alert, he may be another winner here tonight.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention this. Maz's Pizza will be giving away some Maz's Pizza. Stone-fired pizza.
Is there a connection there?
With the how many?
Could be.
Could be. I don't know. Butler Motor Speedway, Saturday night, the Valvoline American Late Model Ironman Series in action. Rusty Schlenk picking up the win there. Dylan Nussbaum in the UMP Modifieds, and Corey Gum, another 4-cylinder win for him. Angola Motorsport Speedway, Hunter Jack picking up the win in the late models. Steve Minnick Jr. in the Modified. Zach Henderson in the street stocks. Chris Heinzelman in the front-wheel drive. Lorraine Raceway Park on Saturday. Troy Phillips winning in the street stocks. Zach Myers in the Chargers. Dan Smith in the pure stocks. Andrew Bogoose
I don't know.
in the must-see Racing Lights, and Kyle Watson in the Champ Carts. Waynesfield Raceway Park, Saturday night. Phil Gressman picking up the win there in the Great Lakes Super Sprint Series, or Great Lakes Sprint Series, I guess we're kind of going with now. It's kind of morphed into that. Zane DeVault picking up the win in the 410s there. Millstream Speedway. Zane DeVault getting the GLSS win at Millstream Speedway on Sunday. Ricky Lewis getting the Great Lakes Traditional Sprints win. And Jacob Sabaj in the Great Lakes Lightning Sprints. And we'll talk more about Millstream Speedway and what went on there a little bit later on tonight. Kubota High Limits Racing, Gold Cup Race of Champions at Silver Dollar Speedway. Thursday, Corey Day picking up the win. Friday was Tanner Thorson. And then Saturday in the main event, Corey Day, once again, your winner. Monday night series was over at Douglas County Dirt Track. James McFadden picking up the win then. And last night, Wednesday night at Grays Harbor Raceway, Trey Starks picking up the feature win. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series action, the Rumble by the River at Port Royal Speedway on Friday. Garrett Albertson got his first Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series feature win. I've kind of been rooting for him. I kind of like that guy.
Ever or of the
I believe
year?
so. No, I believe ever.
Oh.
Saturday, Jonathan Davenport did not pick up his first ever win.
Yeah.
He was like millionth win.
Again.
Yeah. World of Outlaws, Case Construction Late Model Series, Fireball 50 at Atomic Speedway Friday night. Bobby Pierce, another win in his belt there. And then Saturday, Ryan Gustin, proving that apparently Bobby Pierce is not bulletproof and can be beaten. Arca Menard Series on Sunday. The Spreaker 150, the Milwaukee Mile, William Swalich picking up the win there. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series also at the Milwaukee Mile on Sunday. Rookie of the Year contender Lane Riggs picked up his first NASCAR victory. Xfinity Series, the Wawa 250 at Daytona on Friday night. Ryan Truex winning that. The Cup Series, Coke Zero 400 at Daytona International Speedway. Harrison Burton picking up his first Cup Series win, and Wood Brothers 100th win. And
That was pretty cool.
He's without a ride next year, I believe, isn't he?
Yeah, I think.
Do you think that'll make them reconsider?
Maybe. Depends on how he does in the chase.
Okay. IndyCar also in action. The BitNile.com Grand Prix of Portland at Portland International Raceway. Will Power picking up the win there. Hammer Down Army results from this past weekend. James Stamper, as we mentioned, picking up the victory there in the compact feature at Oakshade Raceway Saturday night. Karen Van Pelt Friday night at Palmyra, finishing second in the box stock lights feature event. John Young, second in the Dominator Superstock B-Main at Oakshade on Saturday, and yours truly finished 11th in the Dominator Superstock A-Main without any breaks.
Did you see that the winner of the ARCA race had a post-race injury?
No.
Yeah. Really excited, and he pumped his fist up in the air and dislocated his shoulder.
I might have read something about that.
Apparently, it's been an ongoing issue. He's done it like 7 or 8 times. He knew better.
He's injured himself 7 or 8 times?
He's popped his shoulder out.
Oh, my shoulder's kind of bugging me too.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Actually, that feels pretty good.
Oh, okay.
All right. Ron Miller Race Cars in Lambertville, Michigan. Give him a call for race cars, parts. Do you have any race cars left to sell?
No, but I got a really nice snowmobile.
Do you still have that? I wondered. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I just figured July wasn't the best time to sell a really nice snowmobile. So
okay,
I'll be advertising it somewhere around 1st of November.
So snowmobiles, race car parts, safety equipment, service, trailer repair, brake diagnosing, whatever you need, give Ron a call, 734-856-7223. Victory Fuel, a refreshing and natural hydration alternative that replenishes electrolytes and is packed with vitamins, providing a boost for athletes and individuals on the go, and even those that are sitting down, like us. Victory Fuel, it's the perfect way to stay hydrated and energized throughout the race day, being free of added coloring, caffeine, and carbonation, low in sugar as well. Victory Fuel is a great kid-friendly drink. Get yours today online at drinkvictory.com. Be sure to use discount code Domination or Conley Racing, and you'll save 10%. Conley Racing, all one word. That's your discount code. Also available in some stores. Roots Poultry over there in Fremont, Napa, and Bryan has it. It's available at Oakshade, Fremont Speedway. And, of course, the new flavor finally out, which we are both very excited about, the Purple
Potion.
There we go. There it is.
Can you read it?
Purple Potion, yeah. Well, close in there. You can read the Purple Potion part.
There you go.
So in addition to the Lucky Lemon and Throttle Punch, which is like a fruit punch. I'm liking this.
I like it.
It's my first.
I like it.
It's got a lot. You wouldn't. I thought it'd be more watered down.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of flavor.
I think I'm still a Lucky Lemon.
You're a Lucky. Well, good. Then I'm going to take all the Purple Potions, and you can have the Lucky Lemons.
Yeah, well, fine.
Because Tanya kindly did replenish us, and we got all three flavors.
All right.
All right then. Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet to race this week. It's season championship night.
Thank you, John Young.
Close point battles. What did he do?
Oh, that the driver that dislocated was the truck race.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Now where was I? Oh, season championship this night at Oakshade Raceway with all four classes: late models, DCR graphics, sportsmen, Dominator Superstocks, and the compacts. But don't fret, racing continues throughout the month of September every Saturday night. Wrapping up with our Hammer Down Clash on September 28th.
Highlighting the month of September.
Well, there is the Dominator Superstock Spectacular, which does pay a little more at this point. But
so far,
we could surpass it. I don't know, but right now that's the big one there.
If we've got one of our fans that would like to see the trucks versus stocks race exceed the Dominator Superstock race.
The Spectacular,
yeah. Yeah, we'd love to see that happen.
The Spectacular's been around for so long, though. Well, it's got tradition.
Maybe somebody'd want to belly up to the Spectacular then, and
there you go. Make that 1,500 to win.
We could have an auction. We could have a raffle.
Yeah. Let's ring up our guest for tonight. How's that? Does that sound good? Have you been watching Kalib Henry this year?
Yeah.
He's been fairly impressive. I mean, the first time I saw his name, I was like, it was just last names, and I was like, why is there two Henrys? There's Cap Henry, and then there's another Henry.
Yeah.
And then I would get him. I was like, are they related?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
We've got a couple of.
Well, that didn't work. Let's try again.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll try again. What did you say?
I was just saying that. What?
I don't know. I thought you were reading something there.
Oh. No, I'm just saying that we've got a couple of Henrys that are longtime listeners and sponsors, and there's Henrys in racing. I think the Henrys have outdone the Smiths and the Millers.
There he is. He just texted me, said he tried answering. Kalib.
Yeah, how's it going?
Hey. Finally got together. It's Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, Hammer Down Racing Report. How's it going with you?
Not too bad. Definitely can't complain. Just got back to Ohio yesterday and getting ready to go for a 2, maybe 3-day weekend.
3-day? Where else you plan on running this weekend?
Attica Friday, Saturday, and then potentially Wayne County Sunday.
I didn't realize Wayne County was running Sunday. That's cool.
Sounds like a fun weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
So did you come back from the West Coast just for this weekend?
No, we still have quite a few shows that we're going to run throughout the rest of the year. Obviously, Fremont being our main kind of goal. And then Jim Ford here in 2 weeks. That's a big one that's been on our list all year.
Gotcha. I just meant you came back a little early from the West Coast to get back to Ohio just for this weekend for some reason.
No, that was kind of how our plan was to run just the high limit stuff in California. And then I was going to come back this way.
So was running back in California, was that kind of like a homecoming from you? I mean, where do you consider home these days anymore?
I mean, primarily I am out here in Ohio. I still have my place in California as of right now through kind of the end of the year. Really need to kind of figure out what I have on my schedule for next year and just go from there. So I guess I kind of stay wherever, when needed. TJ Michael's given me a place to live here in Fremont, and really, really thankful for that. I get to live with him and his girlfriend and the dog and the cat. So really, it was a lot better option than living in a toter, which was what I was going to do this summer if that was what I had to do to make this happen.
Really? What brought you to Ohio? I mean, was the success of Buddy Kofoid and Cole Macedo any kind of influence in bringing you from California to Ohio, or were there other reasons?
No, I just know, you kind of got to get out of California to really make a name for yourself. You can really only go so far while you're there, in my opinion. And, to branch out was going to be the best thing that I could do for my career and make it a possibility to do it for a living.
Kyle Larson seems to be doing pretty good, and he's from California.
Yeah, you're kind of comparing apples to oranges there on that
one. So you were running in Knoxville a few weeks ago, Knoxville Nationals. You had a pretty nasty spill there. What happened, and you okay from that?
Yeah, just driver error, got up over the cushion and got into the wall, and that was kind of the end of that. Unfortunately, I really hated it for my car owner and crew chief and whatnot. They've given me a great opportunity this year. We've been really fast, been successful. Just driver error. I made a mistake and unfortunately had to, pay the consequences for it. I was pretty sore for a little while and took me a little bit to kind of get back to what I feel is normal, but I feel like we're back to normal and ready to go for this weekend.
Caleb, was that your weekly car or was that a special event car?
We ran that car actually the night before, earlier that week at Fremont. So luckily we have two complete cars. That was our favorite car that we run, unfortunately. So we pulled down our backup, and that's our car that we're running right now.
That car is pretty much used up?
Yeah, it's at Beavers right now getting worked on. I don't know really an ETA on when it's going to be done or fixed right, but we'll have the car that we kept upstairs. We'll run that, and then we had another kit car sitting at the shop that we're kind of working on getting put together as well.
What were you running when you were out in California?
I ran for Nick and Karen McCullough. They have been with them since 2019. They've been, great to me. Extremely loyal. They've given me pretty much anything and everything that I need to be successful. We struggled a little bit. Some of that was myself and just being off. The car hadn't raced since March, and you can't really, just unload and expect to go and run with the competition that we were running with at the level that, they race at weekly. Everybody, for the most part, those guys run, 60, 70 races a year. They know the ins and outs of everything that they're working on and doing. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to take my crew chief with me. And I felt like that maybe it was, a little bit. My dad was working on it while I was out there, and him and I get along great and click awesome. But as other people know that race when you're kind of gelling with your guy and things are going really well. And you switch that up, it makes it a little bit different.
Did I see that you ran in Australia this past January?
Yeah. We had a handful of good nights, and then a handful that were just kind of so. I had a great time with Jimmy Matchett and his whole team and crew and everything, and we're kind of got some stuff in the works to make that happen again this year. And hopefully it does, and I'll be able to take Kevin with me and go down there and be successful.
Those were shows on the East Coast?
Yes.
Did you get to interact with Wade Onger at all, the announcer?
A little bit, not a ton, but I definitely know who he is, and we conversated a little bit while I was there.
Yeah, he's
Wade's a great guy.
Yeah, good friend of Hammer Down Racing Report.
So what's the biggest difference between racing in the States and racing in Australia?
Well, I mean, it's kind of, I guess you could compare it to, depending on what series and what you're running here, but all the races that I go and run down there would be, equivalent to running with Outlaws or High Limit. They're big fan crowd, big crowds and tons of fans and tons of cars. And, they spend a ton of time, trying to make them events more than races. Signing
autographs till 2 a.m?
The first time I went, one of the nights that we had won, I think I signed autographs like over an hour afterwards. Yeah. This year I did not. But I know that they had like the fan appreciation day, and I think we signed autographs that day for like 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Nice. You also ran Chili Bowl Nationals with Cruz Pendergrass Racing last year.
Last year that was a ton of fun. Cruz gave me a great opportunity. I got to go race with Peterbilt Steve out of Oklahoma and Janky Bobby. They're awesome. I really, really enjoyed that. And depending on if I end up going to Australia or not, I might try and make my way back over to Chili Bowl with those guys. I don't really know 100% what the plan is there yet. Cruz and I still, are in contact. Same with Peterbilt Steve and Janky Bobby and I. They're great people. I had a ton of fun and would eventually like to be able to do that again. Obviously, Australia is kind of the top of my priority list. I really enjoy going down there and spending time and seeing, friends and whatnot that I only get to see once a year.
Did Cruz tell you that he raced dirt late models in this area for a couple of seasons?
2 years, yeah.
I knew that he had a little bit of a background in it, and I know that he obviously ran some midget stuff, primarily just like the Chili Bowl.
Sure.
But I didn't really know too much about it.
Yeah, it was back when the thing at Eldora with the NASCAR guy. What was it? Prelude to the Dream.
Right.
When they used to have, it was kind of like an all-star race, but people that don't drive dirt late models get into dirt late models, borrowed rides. And Cruz had actually, I think, bought one and started practicing just for that event, and then he kind of got
found out he had fun with it.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. Back to this area, and you got some more business to take care of. You got the Attica Ambush 2-day show this weekend. It looked like you picked up your first win at the end of July there, and you got a few wins at Fremont. You're first in the points at Fremont. Is that your primary focus, the championship at Fremont right now?
Honestly, like we didn't have a goal to run for the championship. It just kind of fell into place, and that's what we ended up doing. Growing up, my dad always said, we're not big points racers, but if you win races and are consistent, then the points will kind of take care of themselves. And obviously that's kind of what this year turned into. We had, like I said, zero plan to run for points. We were just going to kind of run whatever we wanted to. And then we obviously have been pretty successful there and are striving to do better. One that's really been big on our list all year, and I know my crew chief has it circled, is the Jim Ford weekend. Mm-hmm. Obviously we really want to win the championship, but I think if we could win that would just kind of, make it that much better.
Now, do you have a preferred track between Attica and Fremont? Do you like one of those better than the other? As far as
to be honest with you,
as far as suiting your driver's style, I mean.
I feel like now that I've won at Attica, I can say that I like it. I really wasn't a huge fan of it. Not that I didn't like going there, but I just was like, I guess just not a huge fan, and didn't think that, I just would have a hard time putting a full night together, and didn't really understand why or what. And I finally did quite a bit of homework and watched a bunch of video, and I mean, I would say that Fremont kind of fits my style a little bit more. But now that I feel like we've got a good starting point. Kevin and I are, working together really well, that one or the other doesn't really matter to me. I'm really looking forward to actually getting back to Attica this weekend. Kevin and I have worked extremely hard this year together, and I feel like it's paid off. Doc's given us all the tools and kind of just giving us the reins and letting us do what we need to.
Do you what track do you most look forward to racing on? What is your favorite track?
I do really like Fremont. Obviously, being successful there definitely helps. I really, really liked Eldora. That was a lot of fun. I would say to go between those two, to be completely honest with you, it would be Fremont or Eldora.
A lot of people like Eldora.
with all the pomp and circumstance, I kind of thought you might have said Knoxville.
Well, he didn't have such good luck there.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I think you kind of make your own luck. Last year, I got, the opportunity to race for Doc, and that's how all this kind of came about. So I think Knoxville kind of always have that little bit of a sweet spot for me, in the sense of, right place, right time. And if I wasn't there, then this would have never came about. So, but being present in the sport's very important. And so I think that it'll always kind of have that, sweet spot for me.
Gotcha. When you first got to this area, how many people were asking if you're related to Cap Henry?
Quite a few. But I think for the most part, most people knew that I wasn't, just being from California and him being from here.
Gotcha. When I first saw your name, I was like, oh, does Cap have a brother? And then I learned more about you after that. And yeah. So anyway, I was going to ask you what's next after this season for you, but you've kind of already alluded to that. You're not really sure what the plans are for next year. When do you address that? Do you wait until after this season?
Honestly, it just kind of boils down to when we can have kind of a team meeting and see what we're going to do, and just go from there. Kevin and I have had a lot of fun racing together. We've been, I feel like, pretty successful, given it being my first year in Ohio. I really wouldn't mind doing the same thing next year, but that's kind of up in the air with that. And I don't really know what other opportunities may present themselves. But I'm kind of happy with doing whatever I need to do to keep racing and be successful.
We talked about it a little earlier, as to why you settled in the Ohio area with the Pennsylvania posse being so strong. Why do most of the California guys wind up here?
Honestly, I think it just boils down to opportunity. I was kind of willing to do whatever it took and go wherever I needed to get out of California and take that next step in racing. Like I said, you kind of touched on earlier, being in California, you can really only get so far. I mean, there's Rico Abreu and Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet and stuff like that, but that's so many few and far between. When the opportunity presents itself, you kind of have to just take it.
Gotcha. One of our listeners wants to know if there's one victory that stands out the most that you've accomplished so far in your career.
And like all the way through my career, or as in this year?
Sure.
Yeah, all the way through your career.
I would probably say the Aussie All-Star in Australia. That one was really, really cool for me because Tim Kading and Tim Schaefer ran second and third. And then the second one to that would be probably the Mark Forney in Placerville, California. That was a race that I grew up going to. My dad ran it. My best friends won it twice, and I just put my name on that trophy. It was at my home track, somewhere that I I've always watched growing up, and it was just kind of one of those places that if I could win that was one of those career highlights for me, and I was able to do it.
So what's your ultimate goal in racing? What are your future aspirations?
As a kid, I've always wanted to be able to race for a living. This year is my first year being able to do it. Obviously, you want to set realistic goals and expectations. So I always do a year-to-year goal, not so much a long-term goal, just because you never know what can happen, and I want to make goals that are realistic, so I don't set myself up for failure. I guess I don't really have a super long-term goal. I want to race for a living, and whatever that looks like, then I'm going to do everything in my power, and whether that means outworking somebody or whatever that looks like, I'm willing to do it. So
IndyCar, Truck Series, Cup Series, any of those would be good as long as you're doing that for a living.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my heart's in open wheel and sprint cars. So if I could do that for however long that looks like, then that's what I'm going to do. Nothing I don't think is ever out of reach, but making it to that point of making it to IndyCar or any form of NASCAR at this rate and age. Everybody's getting younger now. I don't think that that's a realistic goal.
Gotcha. Have you done any fender or racing with fenders?
I have not.
Would you?
I mean, I'm open to try really anything. My heart will always be with a sprint car racing, but I mean, if an opportunity presented itself and it was a good opportunity and it wasn't going to get in the way of me being able to do what I'm doing for a living, then yeah.
So if Cruz came to you and said, hey, I want to dust off my old late model and put you in it, that's something you would consider?
I guess the right circumstances and the right opportunity, then yeah, but I'm not going to give up what I'm doing right now for sure. But if it was the right opportunity and we had the tools and capability of being successful, then yeah.
Scott, he could go head to head with Jamie Miller in a late model.
That's right. Yeah. Speaking of local guys, who would you say is the I don't want to say the toughest to race against, but the most gratifying to beat in this area? A weekly racer at Fremont or Attica.
I mean, I think that's a fairly obvious question. You got to deal with you got to race with Kale and Cap every weekend. There's a handful of other guys in there that are obviously really good, but I would say those are the top two right now for weekly competition.
Gotcha. Well, before we let you go, any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I mean, we probably have one of the plainest cars in the pit right now, but definitely got to thank Harris Distributing Company, Valvoline. They're a big one, and I mean, if it weren't for them, really, we couldn't really be where we're at. Obviously, Doc, he's a big one for us. He's helped us out and given us obviously what we need to be successful and do all the things that Kevin and I like to go and do, which is race and have fun while doing it. So he's been a good supporter and it's been fun racing.
If somebody wants to get a hold of you about sponsorship, how would they go about it?
I have my racing email. I think that's on my Facebook page, my racing page. Reach out on my personal, on my racing page, however really works.
Kalib Henry Racing?
Yep.
Merchandise. I was going to ask about merchandise. Is there Kalib Henry merchandise available anywhere?
Yeah, there is. I have my shirt. I don't have a website set up, but if people, same thing, if they get a hold of me on Facebook or come to the track or anything, I have T-shirts available.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you sell a whole bunch this weekend, and you may not be aware of this, but our guests typically go on to win their next race after being on the show, or sometimes it takes an extra race, so it may be Saturday
unless
night.
You're Kyle Moore and you go out and rip off 6 of them.
Kyle Moore, and just win everything. But so no pressure for this weekend, no expectations, but go out and have fun at Attica, and if you make it to Waynesfield, Wayne County, same goes for there.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, Caleb.
All right.
We'll see you. Bye. There you go. Kalib Henry, the point leader at Attica, or not Attica, at Fremont. He just picked up his first win at Attica a few weeks ago. Hasn't run all the races at Attica, so one of the reasons he's not in that point battle there. But like you said, he kind of picks and chooses where he goes, and points kind of fall where they may, and they've fallen to get him out in front at Fremont. So he's gonna try and win that championship. How many races are left? It's only like 2, isn't there?
At Fremont?
Or season championship night.
Most of September.
But when's season championship night? Is that the last night? You know what? This great thing we have called the internet, we can get immediate answers to these questions.
Sexual.
Sometimes it's easier just to ask Dave because this goes slow. I clicked on it. I swear I did. See? Took a minute. September. Okay, they're back on September 7th. That is AFCS championship night. Then it's Jim Floyd Classic weekend.
13th and 14th.
There's championship night. So about 3 more weeks worth of racing at Fremont for the points. Oh, that's new.
Yeah, how about that?
All right, how about that? All right, moving on. Don't forget, we're going to be giving away some Mazza's Pizza with for our How Many here in a little bit, and we have that tribute to Chris Mize coming up. But coming up just around the corner, we have our racing news. Before we get to that, got to mention Dominator Race Products. They have what you need to be in the winner's circle. Dominator with 30 years of experience to put you out front. Check out their newest product, the Dominator Racing Stools.
Yeah.
Which are pretty cool. It's available in a variety of colors, so you can match your team colors. And don't forget about the modified valence kits, the ultimate brace body kits, plastic modified and late model rear spoilers, and those ultimate body panels, which had a great testimonial from Scott Warner.
Really?
Who owns Grayson Warner's car there at Oakshire. I didn't realize he said he runs the ultimate body panel on one of the sides.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, I'm never going back to aluminum. So there you go. You can get that from DominatorRaceProducts.com or call 419-923-6970. Dominator Race Products are also available from your local reputable race shops, such as Ron Miller Race Cars.
Yeah.
And finally, DCR Graphics is your vinyl racing graphics provider. They do full wraps, partial wraps, number decals, sponsored decals of just about any kind. Call or text Dale at DCR Graphics, 419-308-9523. Check them out at Facebook at facebook.com/DCR Graphics. They're still doing those Hammer Down Racing game virtual car designs for late models, street stocks, and modifieds for $20. You can have your own car design for that, but that only goes through this month, which is over in, 2 days? Friday and Saturday, yeah. So get with Dale quick if you want in on that. He has that other deal going as well, celebrating his birthday, because why not celebrate your birthday for a whole entire month? You get 22% off 50 or more window stickers. So something like if you wanted to get some Hammer Down Racing Report window stickers, or a window sticker with your car number or your favorite car number or somebody's face, he can do it.
Well, that's it. You'll
save 22% off if you order that before the end of August, and you order at least 50 of them. So there you go. And you can order your official Hammer Down Racing Report window stickers, $5. He'll mail them to you, or you can pick them up from the track wherever he happens to be. He's around sometimes. And just stick one of those guys on your race car if you have one, and you're part of the Hammer Down Army. We'll report on your race finishes. That is it for our bills. How about we do some racing news? And there's a lot of stuff to get here.
Latest racing news.
What was that, Ron? I cut you off there. Sorry. First thing, got to mention Chase Johnson, 28 years old from Pengrove, California. Heard that town name before, haven't you? He was injured in a crash in Saturday's Gold Cup Race of Champions. He was taken to UC Davis Medical Center, ICU, after a 9-hour surgery to repair fractures in his C4, C5, and C6 vertebrae. He has other fractures, too, not just those, but he was reported to be unstable and recovering. But then yesterday it was reported that he started getting pneumonia and is still fighting it. It was decided to intubate him with a breathing tube and a feeding tube. So he's not out of the woods yet. Bad deal for Chase Johnson there.
And those cervical breaks can be really traumatic.
Have you had one?
Pardon?
Have you suffered one of those?
No, mine have all been lower back.
Still, anything with the back is kind of...
Couple spinal fusions, and yeah.
That's not something you want to mess with normally. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shane Van Gisbergen will race full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025.
Ooh.
Trackhouse Racing announced on Saturday that it had acquired a third charter for the 3-time supercar champion.
I wonder if that could be Stuart Haas charter.
Possibly could be. They won't need theirs next year. Skip Barber Racing had a purchase agreement to buy the SRX series, the Superstar Racing Experience, back in March. The transaction was to close on April 30th of this year, and that transaction would be private, and neither party would announce it without prior consent of the other party. SRX released a statement recently noting that Skip Barber issued a press release that falsely stated it had acquired the SRX series. The statement goes on to say Skip Barber failed to pay any of the purchase price, so Skip Barber did not purchase, nor does it own any part of the series assets. SRX also filed a lawsuit in Rowan County, North Carolina, against Skip Barber Racing, seeking full damages for their breach of the agreement. The statement went on to say SRX will continue to explore strategic options as it relates to the future of SRX, which is kind of cryptic as to what exactly that means.
Yeah.
Is that series ever going to happen again? I know that whole deal kind of fell apart with IROC.
As of right now, they own the name.
Exactly, and whatever assets were there. I think Skip Barber was a major part of that, though, with the car developments.
Could be.
For those. Final appeals officer Bill Mullis has upheld the penalty NASCAR officials assessed to Richard Childress Racing and Austin Dillon following the Richmond NASCAR Cup Series event on August 11th. Dillon and the number 3 team were docked 5 points in the drivers' and owners' standings. So, yeah, he's still not in the playoffs.
Still not in the playoffs.
And that there's no, I don't think they have any further recourse.
And I think his spotter had that penalty.
His penalty was reduced, so I believe he's back.
From 3 races to 1 race.
Yeah, and that was after he served the 1 race. So.
Right.
NASCAR officials announced on Tuesday that the Cup Series will race in Mexico next season, adding the first international points event in the division's modern history to the 2025 schedule. The historic race is scheduled for Sunday, June 15th at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City, which means the Rodriguez Brothers racetrack. If my 3 years of Espanol in high school means anything. Then a companion race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series is scheduled for the preceding day. The Cup Series event will air live on Prime Video. That's going to be weird.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. While Saturday's Xfinity Series will air live on the CW.
Yeah, okay.
It's just weird, but okay. Yeah, just got to remember to change the channel. That's 13-2 locally over the air.
Oh, okay.
The full 2025 schedules for the top 3 tiers of the NASCAR, the 3 top-tier NASCAR series, let's put it that way,
Xfinity,
has been
released
today. Yeah, some of the highlights include the Truck Series expanding to a 25-race schedule. That's up from 23 this year. It's going to be the first time it's up to 25 since 2011. And Rockingham Speedway, which I'm excited about. Ooh. I like that track. That was a fun track to watch. That's back on the schedule for the trucks and the Xfinity Series. Not the Cup Series, but that's a start. You got to start somewhere.
They're working their way into it.
NASCAR heads to Lime Rock Park in Connecticut for the first time ever with the Truck Series on June 28th.
obviously a road course.
Yeah, and then there's a little other shuffling here and there in the schedule, but most of the tracks are pretty much the same, if we didn't mention anything here. I think there was some of the playoffs have been kind of shuffled around, some of those races. Daytona is going to be the last race before the playoffs, I do believe, next year.
Oh, boy. You're talking in Cup.
In Cup Series, yes. Killcare Raceway and Shady Bowl Speedway. Did you see anything about this?
No.
They issued a bunch of suspensions and fines from incidents that occurred this past weekend at both tracks. Fines and suspensions were based off videos as well as what was seen as it happened.
Really?
So they went back and reviewed video. I'm not sure if it was fan video or where the videos were from, but there was a lot of fines and suspensions that were issued, and those included, the infractions ranged from getting out of the race car on the track to hitting another car under caution to rough driving, unsportsmanlike conduct, not adhering to race control commands, and arguing in the pits. Arguing in the pits, I think, was a big one. I don't know if that was with officials or amongst other teams.
I have no problem with arguing in the pits. It's when fisticuffs break out.
Well, fines ranged from $200 to $100, and suspensions were they ranged from 1 to 2 weeks. So just interesting that looking at videos to kind of help decide.
Sometimes videos can be misleading.
They can be, yes. Sometimes they can. Millstream Speedway. Shall we talk about that? So the GLSS series was at. Gosh,
I'm glad they had a plan B, Scott.
Yeah, so I did not know they had a plan B, but here's apparently what happened. The GLSS show that was scheduled for Saturday,
right?
With the 3 classes, all 3. Great Lakes Sprint Series classes there. Traditional sprints and lightning sprints. They
along with the 410s,
360s.
Yeah, okay.
They ran the inside track at Millstream. If you're not familiar, this year Millstream new owners, they took out the wall around the inside and created a racetrack that basically runs just around the inside of the regular track.
Yeah, I think it's like a big quarter mile.
Big quarter mile, yeah. I think it's a quarter mile around the inside and I forget what it was around the outside. Yeah, it's bigger around the outside. So there was some issues, I guess. A lot of people were complaining online about the fact that they were, I guess it started a little late. I mean, it's a second race for new owners. There's going to be some growing pains. Started a little late. Track, from what I saw, and I was not there, and I'm not privy to any behind-the-scenes information, so I'm kind of drawing my own conclusions. And also not trying to fill in any blanks.
Looked like it was really wet.
That too, but from what I think I read that the drivers decided they wanted to race on the inside track because the outside track was too rough. Or there was a rough spot in turn 1 or one of the corners.
The water truck got stuck on the racetrack.
I saw that video too, but I don't think that had anything to do with it. But anyways, so a lot of people were not real happy that they were running on the inside track, which is bigger than a lot of other tracks even running the inside track. But I mean, I can understand you're being frustrated. You went there to see a race at Millstream Speedway as you know it in your head, and you're thinking the big track. But then a lot of people were complaining, well, I didn't come here to see a race on a go-kart track. That is not a go-kart track.
It was not a go-kart track.
And that's the thing I saw. That was what bugged me the most, is everybody said go-kart track. There was a go-kart track on the inside of Millstream years ago, but it was
a tiny little thing.
Yes, it was little. I mean, you could have probably made like 20 of the little go-kart tracks on the inside. This is not a go-kart track. If you're going to complain they didn't race on the big track, that's fine. But don't say they raced on a go-kart track. That kind of bugged me. That really irked me.
I'm just glad they had a plan B, and I understand. And they could, and I understand that the racing went off really well.
It was a bad situation, I guess, and maybe it could have been preventable. I don't know. I don't know what the track prep was ahead of time. I know they've been working hard on it, but I don't know what the prep was or what led to that situation. I'm sure it's going to be a learning situation that the Cogleys will learn from and hopefully not repeat or figure out what went wrong and make the necessary changes there. People going online and complaining about it doesn't really accomplish anything.
They're business people, so they will prevail.
But yeah, and and Chris Mize was big about this, talking about social media and how it can negatively impact local tracks. Which you can be pissed. I understand you being pissed. Go ask for your money back and leave. You don't have to get online and trash everything, and then then you're not going to have a track to go back to at all, possibly. Right. And that's what nobody wants. That. Well, maybe some people do, but real race fans they wouldn't want that. But and there were a lot of the Millstream diehards that were also sticking up on social media for what happened as well, which is nice, but I mean, they shouldn't have to do that either. So, I mean, I see both sides of it. It was kind of a bad situation all around. And like you said, the alternative was to cancel, and not really a alternative or a good idea when everybody's already there. And I guess it was a decent show. So there you go. And everybody's got their own opinions, and you know what they say about opinions? They're like
a certain portion of the anatomy.
And everybody's got one. So. And with that, we will move into. They do have another race scheduled at Millstream coming up, as we mentioned, one of the Hammer Down Clashes.
Yes.
So, and I'm hoping we race on the big track. I mean, I'm all for the big track. I haven't raced the little track. I'd be fine with the little track too, just because of my gearing.
I've never seen a little track, so yeah.
I've only seen it on TV.
Right.
I haven't seen it in person. So, anyway, I think that's the air conditioning kicking on.
Okay.
It sucks all the power away. Makes the lights flash. But we did have some Hammer Down hotline calls, and if you have an opinion on the Millstream thing, feel free to share it with us as well.
Because neither of us were there.
Yeah, we weren't there. We didn't see everything we're just kind of going off of what everybody was saying. And, yeah.
I understand it was a fun race to watch.
Yeah. 419-318-3081, 419-318-3081. Call or text it anytime, day or night. We do have a couple of texts to get to, and here's the first one. One would think that smart business people, and you mentioned they are business people,
right?
Would communicate ahead of time to let racers and fans know that they were only racing on the go-kart track. All right, I got two problems with that. Number one, they didn't know ahead of time.
Right.
And number two, it's not a freaking go-kart track.
That just pisses me off.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I mean, and like you said, I would have been mad if I went and wanted to see him racing on the big track, but it is what it is. I mean,
I came there to be entertained,
yes, exactly.
If I had gone. I came to be entertained. And
all right, here's another text here. I'm sending this text on what happened at Millstream last Sunday. Was reading all the posts and the people complaining. Unfortunately, I have to agree with a lot of them. When you only run 3 races in one season, there's no excuse by the track owners that track me in that kind of condition. That I'm guessing that the track was in that kind of condition. I could see if they race that track every week and have had that problem, and yes, I would have to agree. I hate to see that happen to the track because that is one of the racetracks I was raised on. Hopefully they get it together and get things worked out, but you cannot operate a track like that. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, okay.
I'm going to say if that was a consistent thing, and
it's only the second race that they've run.
Yeah.
Now, the first race that they ran,
there was issues there too.
Had
too much dust.
Had a dust issue.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they
maybe overcompensated. Yeah.
Good choice of words, Scott.
Thank you. Maybe they'll find the happy medium. Third time's a charm, right?
That's it.
And then hopefully things will be. I'm rooting for them.
I'm rooting for there for the third. For the third time, we'll be there to witness.
Yes, we will. We will be there. But I'm rooting. I don't have a dog in the fight anymore in this. I'm not part of Millstream Speedway. I was. Obviously, I got my start there. That's why I'd like to see it succeed and come back and be a successful track. So,
and I've had some good times there. And I think I told you that my very first ever dirt track race was at Millstream.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What were you running?
A pavement late model. I had been running Flat Rock in Toledo. And
you took a pavement late model to Millstream?
Scott, back in the day, cars didn't know where they were.
Oh, wait. What day are we talking about? I forgot about this. I was thinking like maybe 80s or something.
No.
Nope.
Way back.
Earl Baltus still owned it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If Earl built it, it might have pre-existed Earl. I don't know.
All right. Let's move on and give away some pizza. Anybody have a problem with that?
I like pizza.
How many?
Mazda's Pizza, your official sponsor of How Many? You're on the Hammer Down Racing Report. Also a sponsor of Goad Racing. And thanks to Terry Goad for pitching in that gift card a couple weeks ago from Goad Racing there. Goad, they do a lot. They hooked us up with Mazda's Pizza, who has great pizza.
Yeah.
And in Point Place there. So let's talk about our How Many from last week. It was how many late models were going to be at Butler on Saturday night. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
I had picked 28. You were wrong too, but you were less wrong.
I was
much less wrong. You picked 25. 17 cars for a 5,000 to win show.
Racing has been funny lately, Scott.
Yeah, I know. Weird.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, Oakshade had like 19 cars for the Barney 5,000 to win show. Was that last year or the year before?
Last year.
Yeah. It's a regular show at Oakshade Attica late model series, but regular pay at Oakshade, and there was 18 late models there. So I don't know. It seems like there should be more late models around.
Exactly.
But our winner, our listener winner, was Brandon Bailey.
Well,
who also won at Sandusky last weekend. So
congratulations, Brandon.
He's on a roll. You should probably buy a lottery ticket. But Brandon Bailey, you have 30 days to claim your pizza from Mazda's Pizza in Point Place. He picked 18, by the way. He was closest, picking 18. Again, the actual number was 17. This week,
that's close. This
weekend, a little bit more complicated of a how many.
I'm guessing there's going to be math involved.
There is going to be math. It is. How many 410 sprints will be at Attica on Saturday for the second half or the second day of the Attica ambush, final day?
Right.
Plus, there's the math. How many late models at Eldora on Sunday, which is going to be an American, Valvoline, American Iron Man, American late models, that series. Same thing that was at Butler. So, the total of those two. How many late models on Sunday, plus how many 410s at Attica on Saturday?
Scott, the exact total is 60.
Is it?
There's no reason for you to pick at all.
60, huh?
That's the winner.
I'm going to go with... That's a good number, actually.
Yes, it is.
It's a pretty good number. I can't say I'd argue with that. Let's see. Most are higher. There's a couple lower. Brandon Bailey's going with the... answer to life, the universe, and everything. Yep. So is Gretchen. There's a 32. There's a very pessimistic Chris Schoenauer.
What did Dean Henry say? That
Dean, did he put in his guess yet? Oh, 58.
That's a good guess.
I'm going to go with 59 then.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted to go 61. Is it too late? I want to be an optimist. I'm going to go 61.
You didn't write it down yet.
Nope, I didn't. 61. I'm going 61.
I'll give you. You can have a gimme on that.
I don't know what Wayne County is running on Sunday though. If they're running late models, I wonder if they'll take.
I don't
away
think so.
It's a Sunday, so there shouldn't be much competition. But if you want a chance,
it's Eldora.
It is Eldora, yes. You want a chance, and it's the the Baltus Classic.
And I didn't put a huge number in for Eldora. So
okay,
that's it.
And you don't have to separate it out; just the total number there, like everybody's putting in. Put it in the comments of our Facebook Live or the YouTube Live, and we'll give you until 4:00 on Saturday if you're listening to us on the podcast. 70, I think there's Brian Nelson. He's got 75 in there. There's a few 70s. John Deere's got Doug Frost has a 7. There's an 82. Tom Cole.
Ooh,
he's very optimistic. Look at it. He'll probably make us look bad. He'll probably be right. But get your guess in by 4:00 on Saturday. You can only guess once. You cannot change your guess once you put it in, or you'll get black flagged. And whoever's closest will win a Mazda's large one-topping pizza. Oh, by the way, that's what you won, Brandon. Large one-topping pizza and an order of cheese bread. And again, 30 days to claim your pizza. So we'll find out who wins next week. Yeah. But if you're listening to us on the podcast, find our Facebook Live or the YouTube live broadcast. Just look for the one with Kalib Henry. Type your guess in the comments. As long as it's before 4 o'clock on Saturday, Eastern Time, your guess will count. And with that, let's talk about what's going on this weekend.
This weekend's racing menu.
Friday night, Attica Raceway Park. It's the Great Lakes Truck Center Murphy Tractor Attica Ambush with Fast 410 Sprint, $6,000 to win for that. UMP Late Models, $2,000 to win. And gates will open at 5 with racing at 7:45 like normal. And general admissions $25 at Attica. Also Friday night, Montpelier.
Right.
Yeah, Montpelier Speedway, the Jake and Jensen Memorial, featuring UMP modified street stocks, super stocks, and Hornets. Gates open at 5, racing at 7. General admission $12. Saturday night, Flat Rock Speedway. It's the Dunwell Dry Goods School Bus Figure 8 night. In addition to the school bus figure 8s are bolt figure 8, street stocks, regular figure 8s, factory stocks. Also, gates open at 4, racing at 6 p.m. Special note there. 6 p.m. race time at Flat Rock on Saturday. General admission $23. Attica Raceway Park, night number 2 of the Attica Ambush, sponsored by Great Lakes Truck Center and All Pro Aluminum Heads. 410 sprints, 305 sprints. $6,000 to win for the 410s, $1,200 to win for the 305s. And gates will open at 4, racing at 7 p.m. at Attica, $25 general admission. Oakshade Raceway Season Championship night. Late models, DCR Graphic Sportsman, Dominator Super Stacks, and Compacts. Gates open at 4, racing at 7:30. General admission $15. Butler Motor Speedway, it's the Terry Wilbur Memorial, featuring 410 sprints, UMP modified street stocks, and 4 cylinders. Gates open at 4, racing at 7:30. General admission $15 there. And then Montpelier Speedway, once again, night number 2 of the Jake and Jensen Memorial. Super late models there. They don't run there that often.
No.
At Montpelier. USAC Midwest Thunder Midgets and UMP Modifieds and Hornets. Gates open at 5, racing at 7, and general admission is $15 there on Saturday at Montpelier. And we're not done.
But wait.
Sunday, Angola Motorsports Speedway is in action. It's Tribute Sunday. Bobby Smith Late Models, Triple Play number 3. The Teddy Mod Mixer number 3, Jeff and Blaine Street Stocks, and front wheel drive. So you got late models, modified street stocks, and front wheel drives. Gates open at 5, racing at 7. General admission $18 there at Angola. Again, that is Sunday, and also Sunday, Eldora, the Baltus Classic, Valvoline American Ironman Late Model Series, UMP Modifieds, and Super Stocks also in action. Gates open at 4, racing at 8 p.m. General admission is $20 there at Eldora Speedway.
Holiday weekend, so no reason to rush. And
looking ahead to next week, we got more!
But wait.
It's a big weekend coming up at Eldora Speedway. This weekend's big, right, but it gets bigger next weekend, and it starts on Wednesday because we have the Castrol Flow Racing Night in America, the makeup thing from Before the Dream. So that is Wednesday night. That is its own standalone show with late models. Gates open at 2. Racing will start at 8 p.m. General admission $30 Wednesday night at Eldora. Thursday night, a week from tonight, that'll be night number 1 for the 54th World 100, featuring the late models shootout races and Twin 25 features. Gates open at 2, racing at 8 p.m. General admission $35. And I believe, aren't those races on Flow too?
I think so.
Yeah. And that's what's going on in this area. Your Maz's Pizza racing menu for this area. How's the weather going to work for us?
It's going to be fine.
That's it?
Yeah. The humidity's going to be down a bit. The heat's going to be down a bit. Monday, it might be a little chilly.
I thought there was a chance of rain Saturday morning. Ron says no.
It's kind of gone, Scott.
Okay.
I mean, every day there's a chance of rain, but it's like a 9%.
All right. Victory Fuel will be at Attica on Saturday night.
All right.
So if you want some, get a hold of Tanya. She's got her number posted there in the comments. 419-308.
3081.
No, 308-2231. 419-308-2231. Text her, and it looks like you can pick up an order of Victory Fuel there. So there you go. Brand for 25 for the track owners. Okay. Just catching up on the comments real quick. Other series action this weekend, the Kubota High Limit Racing Series at Skagit Speedway in Washington. That's tonight through Saturday, the 29th through the 31st. The Tuscarora 50 at Port Royal Speedway begins next Thursday night, and then that goes through next Saturday. That's September 5th through 7th at Port Royal. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. It's River Days Rumble at Portsmouth Raceway Park in Portsmouth, Ohio. That is Saturday, August 31st. The 56th Annual Hillbilly 100 Tyler County Speedway in Middlebourne, West Virginia. That takes place Sunday, September 1st. It's almost September. It's crazy. Yeah. World of Outlaws NAS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series action. The Huset's Hustle on Friday, and the rescheduled Huset's High Bank Nationals on Saturday and Sunday. So a full weekend there at Huset's. That's in Brandon, South Dakota. I think that's where my brother's around.
Yeah.
He's supposed to come back, though, this weekend and get his dogs.
Woof, woof.
Yeah. Arca Menard Series, Southern Illinois 100 at DuQuoin State Fairgrounds on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. on FS1. That's one of your favorite races, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series will, that's old. I forgot to take that. It's Milwaukee Mile. We have the Sport Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200 at Darlington Raceway on Saturday for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That'll be at 3:30 p.m. on USA. The Cup Series, it's the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington. That'll be Sunday starting at 6 p.m. on USA as well. And then IndyCar is the Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250. Race number 1 will be on Saturday at 6 p.m. That'll be on Peacock streaming. And the Hy-Vee Milwaukee race number 2 will be on Sunday at 2:30. That will be on USA. So a doubleheader at Milwaukee for the NTT IndyCar Series. And that is it for your Mazda's Pizza weekend race menu. How about we draw for that sticker? Again, if you haven't put in your guess or your guess, hashtag DCR in the comments of the Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Now is your very last chance to do that. We'll give you just a couple seconds. We got 31 entries already in there.
Yeah.
So if you already put it in, you're good. You're already in the drawing. But hashtag DCR, put that in the comments if you have not yet. And we will draw for one of these bad boys, courtesy of DCR Graphics. John Young was our winner last week, wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. And we don't restrict the winners. Charlie getting one in there. We can get up to 32. All right, that's good enough for me. Cody Thomas getting in. There's a couple straggling in. Let's see. Okay. Up to 33 entries.
Ooh.
Here we go. For the Hammer Down Race Report window sticker, courtesy of DCR Graphics. Boom. Round and round she goes. And I'm picturing it goes round and round instead of just flickering a bunch of names on the screen. Charles Desgrange Jr.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You have won this week's Hammer Down Racing Report window sticker. You have 30 days to claim it. If you want, I could probably bring it to a racetrack and give it to somebody.
A racetrack that he could be at.
He could be, or if not, you have 30 days to pick it up from Ron Miller Race Cars. Let us know which you prefer. If we don't hear from you, it'll be at Ron Miller Race Cars for 30 days. So congratulations, Charles Desgrange. Let's make that go away. And with that, that is just about it for another edition of the Hammer Down Race. Don't forget, coming up momentarily, our tribute to Chris Mize, who again passed away unexpectedly on Monday of this past week. Good friend of ours. Worked a lot with him with different races, and he comes up with cool ideas.
He does.
And he has great stories, too. So stick around for that. Definitely worth a watch. Thanks to associate producer Dave Kimmer and all the work he does, and our contributors John Young, Dean Henry, Bob Stazak, and Matt Swander. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on X at Hammer Report. Follow us on YouTube. And I'll probably put up our little tribute as a separate video.
Okay.
in a couple days or something, just so you don't have to sit through all this if you just want to see the Chris Mize tribute. It's about 9.5 minutes, but listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check us out at hammerdownracingreport.com. And again, information on the Hammerdown Clashes on that website, hammerdownracingreport.com. Looking for sponsors. Get a hold of us if $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever you want to put in. That'll get your name attached to any or all of those shows.
And you can put in what conditions. I mean,
it could be this $5 goes to the 20th place finisher.
That's it. However you want to spend your money, we'll be glad to take it.
We're not taking it. We're providing it to the tracks to whoever finishes in that position.
Covered that earlier, Scott.
Just in case they missed that.
I see.
Not everybody listens to the whole thing. They tune in and
what?
out.
Wait a minute.
It's a radio thing. That's why they have average quarter-hour listeners. You get credit for if you listen to 5 minutes of radio during a 15-minute period. The radio station gets credit for that whole quarter hour.
Yeah.
You got a little radio knowledge for you there, even though we're not in radio anymore. Thanks to our sponsors, and make sure to support these guys too. DCR Graphics, Dominator Race Products, Oakshade Raceway, Ryan Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Dipman Motorsports, Magic Moen Entertainment, and of course Victory Fuel with their brand new Purple Potion. Thanks again to Tanya Conley for dropping that off this afternoon. I was excited about it. I'm still excited about it. You're the lemon guy. That's fine. Thanks to our guest this week, Kalib Henry. Next week, we'll be bringing on youngster, 12-year-old Roman Brown. Picked up his very first sportsman feature win a couple weeks ago at Oakshade. So looking forward to that. Want to mention that there will be a celebration of life for Chris Mize on September 21st at 1:30 p.m. at Sandusky Speedway, which I believe is a Saturday, unfortunately, but might be something to get to in the afternoon before heading off to the racetrack in the evening. So there you go. And with that, we'll see you next Thursday at 7 o'clock. We'll leave you now with our Chris Mize tribute, and hopefully we'll see you back here.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
Have a good Labor Day weekend. Get out and support your local track. We'll see you.
Bye.
But, the other day, I did send a text. Scott, you thought I was fibbing, I think. I sent a text to Kenny Wallace because I was wanting, he's in it.
Right.
He ran a hot shoe up at it's Whitmer. I don't know if it's called Whitmer anymore, I think, but the Hot Shoe 100, and, he had that speech on Facebook that was great about Dale Earnhardt telling him about these weekly races, the short track races. But I thought, I'm going to try to reach out. I got a cell number. And I sent him a text, and I figured, well, I'll get a text back, one way or the other. He took time out of his day, and I really respect this, and became a bigger fan. He called me. He called me and talked to me for, 8-10 minutes, about he's going to Devil's Bowl Speedway that weekend. He can't make it. He thinks it's a great idea, for the North. He knows that they've done it in the South, but he thinks it's a great idea up North here. But, just for him to call and acknowledge that he didn't have to do that. He's a busy man, and I thought that was great of him. And we discussed short track racing on asphalt for a second, and the state it's in. And I'm going to tell you guys, and I won't take much more of your time up. I know you got a show, but, man, I'm out at the racetrack. I got to finish some grading on a dozer, but.
You put dirt on the place?
You wish. No, remove the dirt pile. I got to finish grading it out. But,
okay.
In the shape that short track asphalt short tracks are in right now, if we don't try different things like this, we might not survive. And how the heck do we know if it's going to work if we don't try it?
I shared this afternoon, I don't know if you saw it, Chris, a 1959 modified season championship at Sandusky Speedway.
Yeah, Ron was in that, wasn't he?
That's what somebody said. Were you up in the tower for that?
No. I think them guys back in them days would have come up and whipped me sometimes the way I get a little hostile on the radio. Well, they didn't have radios then, so.
What year did
59 predates me, just not
barely,
much, but
yeah.
a little, yeah.
What year did Sandusky Raceway open? Do you know?
From what I know, Steve Horner's the historian on it. I think it was like in the around 50. Ron, you might know a little more. It was actually a dirt track before it was asphalt.
Chris, I'm thinking 1953, but I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, the Deckers, and I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I believe a year, maybe 2, it was a dirt track. And I want to say it was 3/8 mile, but I could be wrong. But then they went, Deckers paved it to a half mile.
And I'm pretty sure it's the same pavement.
Oh,
well, it's actually been paved a couple times, and you never know.
Doug did some more historical work here for us.
Did he?
First feature was won by Richard Brickley of Willard, Ohio. In a 1932 Ford Coupe, he won $103
for his first feature win.
Was 2,000 race fans there. Mission was more expensive back then than half of your races this year.
Yes, it was.
$1.25.
Jeez.
I'm telling you, I said it on this show. If you don't get the kids hooked at that age, and you're done. And what I'm seeing when I go back out there, when I see them when they're all pulling in and I'm getting ready to leave, it's a lot of the guys that raced years ago when I started in this, and coming up through Mansfield and everything. A lot of these guys that were what I call big time racers and very successful have now stepped back from their cars, sold them off, or they're sitting in the garage, and now they got kids and they're into these go-karts teaching these kids coming up through. And I honestly, I think it's one of the greatest things is a person that I've been around as long as I have to sit and watch the second, third generation, third generation on some of them coming up through. And it's just, it's kind of cool.
When we were living in upstate New York, a lot of the racetracks there had a clubhouse where they had pizza and sandwiches and maybe a few adult beverages. And then after the races, you'd have to go to that clubhouse to get paid. And there were a lot of racers that left just about broke.
Yeah, well, that's that's the way it used to be at Sandusky. I remember I'd get paid $30 a night. This is way back when I worked the corner on a safety crew, and I can tell you every Saturday night it cost me about $40-50 after I spent that $40 in the bar.
But damn, you had fun, didn't you?
I had a blast. And somebody put up the other day, I seen a post where this is it's supposed to rain. And Dan Dittman, I hope so. And somebody, what do you mean? I said, well, I remember, what was it, 3 years ago? It was a monsoon.
Oh, my
gosh.
Yes.
I've never been so cold at a racetrack in my life.
Don't ever let anybody out there, tell you they can't run in a monsoon, because we proved them wrong January 1st. We did no more finish racing.
That was
Kevin calls me on the radio and he goes, "Hey, man." I said, "What?" And he goes, "Don't mess around. Get this through." And I says, "I know it's raining." He goes, "No, we're about to flood."
It did flood.
Yeah.
The payout thing was underwater. I
was
like, how am I supposed to get paid?
It wasn't. We didn't drop the last checker flag, and it wasn't even 10 minutes. And the track was coming up with water. You walk down, there was 2 inches of water running through the tunnel, 3 inches.
Yeah.
Doug's at one end, and he goes, "How deep?" "Oh, it's not deep, Doug."
Right. That's exactly what he said.
Trust me when I tell you this, because years ago I flagged the hangover several times. People can make them snowballs go to the flag stand.
My granddaughter has done it.
Yeah, I got hit in a certain area one time, and I was breathing hard down my knees for a few minutes, and everybody got a good laugh out of it. But but
not everybody got a good laugh out of it.
No, I didn't. I was talking pretty high pitched for a while. But
the show I actually look most forward to is the one that you guys helped me. October, I believe it's 19th.
October 19th.
Yes. And that, finishes up our cavalcade, but October 19th, Nightmare Clash is Fremont trucks versus the Oak Shade, we call them bombers or
Super Stocks.
Okay, the Oak Shade Super Stocks versus the street stocks, asphalt street stocks. And, you know, that in itself is going to be a hell of a deal. And then we brought in the CRS Truck Series, the Midwest Dirt Compact Series. Then, you know, me and Jim Hanks cut a deal. We're also going to have the Must See Racing Light Series there that day too. You know, that show, we booked it, and I feel, well, listen, it's something we were talking about a few years back. We didn't do it with the late model deal. We're committed to this October 19th deal, and what I think, you know, what I'm hoping for is a crossover. You know, you're going to see a lot of dirt fans maybe come because you guys are running. You're going to see asphalt fans seeing some dirt cars other than the Hangover. You know, the CRS trucks are going to be there. Must See Racing Lights are going to be there, so the fans will see some sprint cars. You know, it's just in the Midwest.
It's going to be a fun show, Chris.
And I'll get to race head to head with you on that too.
Ooh, baby.
Yep.
Get that truck back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
You know, I got Drew Jack. He owns Great Lakes Promotion, National Compacts, and Midwest Dirt. And I got Drew Jack talked into running that with his Midwest Dirt Series, and you know, it all come together in 2 days.
Yeah, it was like, what was that, between Christmas and New Year's or something like that?
Hey, what do you think of this? Yeah, let's do it.
A couple phone conversations at night, and 2 days later we were announcing it.
You guys, appreciate all you guys. What you do for the Hangover race, thank you. And other than that,
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.